Alright guys, this is Jake with Casual eCommerce, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the main two types of e-commerce stores that you can start when selling online. Alright guys, so before we get started with this video, if you like content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so that way you're notified whenever we put out a new video, which is about 3 or more times a week. So getting into this video, I wanted to talk about the two main types of e-commerce stores that people are actively starting and running. Now the first type is going to be the most common, and this store we will go ahead and call it like a fad store, or a trendy store, or like a trinket store. So this is pretty much every single dropshipping store is going to be a fad, a trinket type store, or any print-on-demand store. So what do I mean by fad, trendy, trinket store? I mean a store that's essentially taking advantage of a hot, trending item. So think about print-on-demand. So it's Christmas time almost. So taking advantage of a trend would be selling Christmas sweaters or selling Christmas themed type of print-on-demand products. Or right now with all of the and right now, at least in America, there's a lot of conflict over gun control right now. So a trend would be like gun control t-shirts, whether it's pro gun control, anti-gun control, whatever. There's a lot of people that are passionate about this subject right now, and that's trending. So that'd be a trending type thing. So people would create a store around, you know, gun control or whatever, or maybe they have a general store and they just sell gun control style shirts. So that's for the print on demand aspect. And then for the AliExpress drop shipping aspect, hot trending products is usually just like you find like a hot product on AliExpress and then you just promote the crap out of it through every ad platform you can. You send it to influencers, you do all this stuff, and you just sell as many of the singular products as you can until the product is no longer hot. So the easiest example I can take off the top of my head is fidget spinners. They were extremely hot a few months ago, 6 months ago, whatever, and there was a lot of stores popping up selling these fidget spinners. But the thing is now, a lot of the fidget spinner stores are dying out. They're not really selling anything anymore because the trend is over. So this is the first type of store I'm talking about, which is the trend store. So you're following a trend. You're essentially just creating a store and you're just trying to capitalize on trends. You're trying to capitalize on hot products like fidget spinners, and you're just trying to milk that trend or ride that wave for as long as you can. And then once the wave is over, it's done and you're not making any more money. And then you have to find another wave and ride that wave, whether it's with another store or whether you have a general store and you're just going to set up another collection for the trend or whatever. So this is the first type of store, and this is the most common store, and this is the type of store that the majority of people start out with. And this is the type of store that I actually recommend that people should start out with in the beginning, because it's a little bit easier to just take advantage of a trend. But the thing is, stores like this are going to have less longevity. You're not really establishing too much of a brand. As I said, you're just riding the wave of a trend. So you're not really going to this isn't really going to be something, this type of store isn't going to be around 5 years from now. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, because a lot of the things that you learn from these type of stores you can apply to store number 2, which we'll get into in a second. Now, a lot of people, most people in e-com, they will just continuously create these type of trend stores and just keep trying to ride continuous trend waves, which is fine. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because this is planet Earth in the age of social media, the internet, so there's always a trend. So there's always a trend to take advantage of. So there's not going to be any shortage of trending products or trending events that you can create print-on-demand products around. So this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it just has a lot less longevity, and it's going to be more of an up and down style income, and it's going to be less stable, and it's not like you're going to be creating something that you can eventually sell off in the future. So the second type of store that I want to get into in this video is a brand. That's it, just a brand. So a big branded store. So a brand essentially is just you're creating a brand around the product. You're taking a regular product and you're branding it. So easy example, we'll just go with camera stands, camera tripods, because camera's on a tripod right now. So you find a tripod, you find people, supplier in China or whatever that makes generic tripods. You get a logo, you order some samples, you get some alterations made, you get the tripod to look exactly how you want it to do, function exactly how you want it, and then what you do is you end up creating a brand around that tripod. So you're not trying to take advantage of a trend, because I don't think tripods are trending right now, but what you're trying to do is become a dominant player in that market. So a big player in the tripod market, for example, with the tripod I have right here, is Joby. So you would be trying to go in there and become like the next Joby. So this type of store is something that's going to have a lot more longevity. It's something that is going to be harder to build up, but once you've built it up, in theory, it should be more stable than the trendy wave, because you're going to focus more on core things like building a following, building a loyal brand audience around your products and your brand, and you're trying to get people emotionally attached to your brand. So the biggest difference with this store is you're literally just branding. Like, that's what it is, and that's the difference between small stores that just die and like long-term actual businesses is having a strong brand. So think of like Apple, like the iPhone X just came out, and I actually just saw a video on YouTube of Casey Neistat, who was filming all the people waiting in line to get the iPhone X, and they were waiting in line for like a day or two. And this just goes to show how strong Apple's branding really is, because obviously you can just order the phone online and wait and get it in a month, but these people just really wanted to get it right away because they're very loyal to Apple and they're very connected to the brand, and they really want all their products as soon as possible. So this is the idea of what you'd be trying to do with the second type of store, is you're trying to actually brand your product and develop a loyal following and actually become like a household name within your niche. I'm not saying you go out there and compete with Apple, but you become a household name within your niche. Now, this is actually something that I've been trying to work on for the past 6 or so months. I'm trying to set up a big branded project, and once I get further along the line of this business that I'm setting up, and once it starts, once it's live, and once I start getting the wheels turning and getting some initial results and things like that, I'll probably make some videos showcasing that. But I know right now the majority of people, they just want to see drop shipping content and stuff like that, because it's easier barrier to entry and it's easier for newbies to learn that type of style, and it is the style that you should start out with, and there's nothing wrong with continuing to do that as well. It's just not something like you're not going to sell a drop shipping store for like $15 million down the line, but if you create a nice branded store, branded product, you could sell that out for $15-20 million down the line, which is something that I'm really interested in. So that's why I'm trying to focus on that as well. Now, this doesn't mean that I have abandoned the drop shipping model, print on demand model at all. What I personally like to do is take revenue from smaller projects and push it into bigger projects. So so easy example of that is take revenue from drop shipping and push it into a long-term brand. Now, this isn't something that everyone has to do. I just wanted to clarify the difference between these two types of stores, so that way you know which direction you kind of want to take, so that way you're not in an awkward middle ground. Because if you're going to do like try to establish a big brand, you're going to have to go all in. You're going to have to push all the chips on the table. So it's not something that everyone may want to do, and it's especially not something that a beginner should be doing, because if you start out with the drop shipping model, print on demand and stuff like that, you're going to learn a lot of cores of business and e-commerce in general. And once you have those cores and you've done that a few times, you've learned the ropes and such, you can take those skills and then push them into starting a real legitimate brand. Now, as I said, this isn't demeaning drop shipping by any means. I still do drop shipping. I like drop shipping. I like print on demand. But it's just saying that the other option of starting a brand does have a higher, it has more longevity and it has a higher payout over the long term, but consequently, it is a lot harder and takes a lot more work. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So if you like content like this, subscribe to the channel. And this has been Jake with Casual E-Commerce, and I'll see you guys in another video.